Welcome back to the Pawd Checkerboard Chats. We have everyone's favorite trio today, Paul, Pat, and Cam. Pat is fresh off the practice field. How was practice today, Pat?
Practice was good, really good practice. All the guys were out there, were healthy. A lot of the young guys getting reps, which is good to see. But it was a physical practice. I liked it. I mean, I don't like going out there when it's shorts, but it was full pads today, and the kids practice hard. They're looking forward to this bowl game.
How many F-bombs did you throw?
Huh?
How many F-bombs did you throw?
No, I was mellow today. Didn't grab any face masks. It's a great group of kids. I mean, they're looking forward to the game. I heard Miami's already got some opt-outs, but I don't see any of our kids missing.
Yeah. I feel like in my time here, I haven't seen many players opt out.
No, Fresno's players have usually been really well, but, like when we played Washington State, Arizona State, and all those teams, I mean, they had 10, 15 starters out. And I think Miami, coach was telling me today, a couple of their best players have opted out of the game. So I don't think that's right. I think when you start something, you finish it. But that's probably not the way of the world now.
Before we get to the bowl game, looking back at the season, what stand out to you guys?
Well, I think the defense stands out. I mean, that was a championship defense. And what's crazy is that now you could say maybe they won a couple of games they could have lost, but Fresno State was, a consistency away from hosting a Mountain West championship game. And if the Bulldogs had hosted a championship game and won a championship game, they're in the college football playoff. That's crazy to think about. But that's it, right? So there's a lot of potential there. There's something to build on. And I don't know about you guys, but the way that defense dominated, especially, at the back half of the season, really impressive. You kind of say, if those transfers had another year, because they batted 1,000 in the portal, right? I think that's the biggest takeaway, too. They batted 1,000 in the portal, and on the defensive side, the guys they brought in the transfer portal turned into their biggest playmakers.
Yeah, Finn Claypool, Jaden Pearson, Simeon Harris, who will be back, who does have another year, which is super exciting because I think he was playing his best football at the end of the year. Like, I think 8-4 in season one is a huge accomplishment, right? Something to build on. You didn't know with all of the guys that left when the previous coaching staff left how this team was going to be able to perform from a talent perspective. And Paul hit on it. They brought in the right talent in the portal, and they all came together. I think when you watch this team, they all supported one another. And 8-4 with a chance to play for a Mountain West title at the end of the season, I think that's a huge success in year one and definitely something to build on.
I agree. Along with the defense playing so well, the only really down game was Colorado State. But other than that, I thought they played well. They're very well coached, very disciplined. We like to say they're tied together. They all do a good job of gap cancellation. They know where they're supposed to fit. But I'd like to say also, like in special teams, our punter, even though he didn't have a great net punt average and that, the cover teams were outstanding. I mean, our cover teams were both ranked in the top 10 in the country, kickoff coverage and punt coverage. And I think Verdugo did a great job being put in that role, averaging 40 yards per punt. He's on it all the time. Nobody gets returns on him. He doesn't exactly flip the field, but he's very, very steady in what he did, so I was really impressed with the special teams, especially our cover teams. Offensively, we were up and down. We're still trying to get a feel, but I think we saw the emergence of Brandon Ramirez.
Ram Man.
I thought we saw an emergence of him not only as a runner in short yard situation, but as a devastating blocker.
Yep.
I thought we saw the emergence of the young man Arsenault towards the end of the year, and once again at practice today, he was outstanding. I was watching Gillick, the kid from Edison High School today, run the ball. He is going to be somebody to look at next year. There's some young kids. So I like the development of the team. We're going to lose some players on the defensive side of the ball, but I think they'll replace them really well. I think they've shown that they know how to go to the portal and get the right kind of guys that fit what they want to do.
And another one of those portal guys that was big in the first half of the season was Kavion Thunderbird.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You wonder that, too, like if he's healthy the rest of the year. And he does have eligibility, too. So if you think about Thunderbird and Harris coming back as leaders of that defense next year, that could give the Dogs a really good head start.
And Pearson, he's an all-league caliber player, and Finn Claypool was outstanding. Matter of fact, I'm coaching in the Hula Bowl, and I'm trying to get Finn Claypool there as my fullback.
Who's your head coach for that?
John Gruden wants to play some 21 personnel, so he put me on the look for a fullback. So I told him I'd take Finn Claypool.
Hey,
as a
Finn Claypool
fullback.
would be down for all of that, too.
Yeah, he played
all of
offensive
it.
line.
Yeah.
He's really good on kickoff return. He's got great body control. He's tougher than nails. I'd love to put him in 21 personnel. On. I just asked him today, do you think he can go in the hole and block a linebacker? He goes, whatever you need.
He said, please.
Tyler Klutz 2.0, huh?
Yeah,
From
well,
defensive end to fullback.
Same guy. You know, Tyler
Yep.
Klutz was an undersized defensive end that made a nice career in the NFL as a
Yeah.
fullback because he was tough as nails. He was smart, good hands, and Finn's got all of that. They're a lot alike.
Love it.
So when we look at our 8 all Mountain West selections, Spomer, Pearson, Hamilton, Claypool, Lafitte, Freeman, Harris, and Luke. But who are some under-the-radar contributors that you think could have made that list?
That's a good question.
For next year?
No, for
No,
this
for this
year.
year.
I mean, I would have to go, and his name is jumping out of my brain
I'd go
right now.
Roland Fullwood for sure on offense. Roland Fullwood, you talk about a success story. There's a guy that for the past 4 years hadn't done anything. And Julian Polendo.
Yeah.
They were both buried in the depth chart. And this year they came into their own and played really well for us. And Julian's going to be graduating, but they're trying to get another year for Roland,
Yep.
which is really something. And I thought he did a very fine job out at right tackle. And I think he's a guy, if we get back next year, is definitely a big-time football player.
Titus Kajabi, that's what I was trying to think
Yeah.
of.
Kajabi,
You talk
yeah.
about
Yes.
losing Kavion Thunderbird early in the season, and he and Pearson were really controlling that defense. They were all over the place. You thought that was going to be a really big loss, but Kajabi stepped in as a redshirt freshman. He was always in the right place, playing with correct leverage, playing with great pad level. Ended up forcing some turnovers toward the end of the season. I think his growth from when he was put in the lineup to the guy that we saw at the end of the year, I think he's going to be a leader on this defense next year because he understands what everybody is doing. And like Pat said, when that defense is tied together, when 11 guys are all doing the right thing, you play really high-level defense. And Kajabi was a guy who definitely was playing high-level defense towards the end of the year.
And the reason they're tied together is that coaching staff
Oh,
really
yeah.
understands and works well together. They have tied the back end and the front end very successfully, and that doesn't happen every year.
And I was going to go with what Pat said with Polendo and Fullwood, and I think it's a reflection of a greater dynamic. You look at both sides of the ball, a lot of guys that never really had a chance to play that could have been written off. This coaching staff came with fresh eyes, said everyone's going to get a chance, and then backed it up, and those guys earned the opportunity. So I think that's a great credit to this coaching staff because we've all seen the opposite where they don't do that. And I thought that was a big theme throughout the season. A couple other guys that I think were under-touted this year on the defensive line. Martin Owusu got hurt late, but
Yeah.
great run stuffer. He'll
For
be a
sure.
foundation next year. And Sonny Exepra, such a leader off the field. He's got that versatility on the D-line, can play outside, can play inside. With the strides he made this year physically and in his confidence, I could see him having a big year. And if Josiah Freeman gets one more year of eligibility, the way he played the last 2 games,
Yeah.
didn't he look like a different guy with
Yeah.
that burst of speed and explosion?
Yeah, didn't think he had that type of long speed, but he showed it against Utah State. Took that reverse and outran everybody. Jake Tarwater, too. Got to give Jake Tarwater props. He was so physical in the run game. He was such a big piece of that, 13 personnel package when they brought in extra tight ends. They moved him around a lot. He blocked a lot of different levels of guys on the defense. He was a big piece of that run game having success.
Yep.
One of Pat's favorites.
He is one of my favorites. I really like him. Whenever you find a tight end, an inline tight end, a guy that can move, I mean, with what they want to do offensively, he fits the bill. Bear Pascal was that type of guy, and Spock was that type of guy. Those guys are hard to find. And both of those kids played in the NFL. Tarwater, he's hurt right now. He's a guy, if somebody really looks, fills the bill as your third tight end, as big 4 special teams player. And that's what you're looking for. You're looking for some guys that can fit a role, and he's a role player. Like Claypool would be a role player, but he could play on all 4 special teams. He could be a walk-around Garrett McIntyre type with the New York Jets. I mean, if he can play fullback, he could niche himself a nice little career.
Who are some young guys that maybe didn't get a ton of snaps, but you saw them take big leaps?
I mean, I always go to Harold Duvall just because He has such great body control. We saw it against Southern. They threw that back pylon touchdown where he kind of went back shoulder. I think his ceiling is so high. He was such a high-level recruit, got a little bit of playing time as a freshman. I think the sky's the limit for what we can see out of 19.
And he had a big practice today.
That's great. I love to see it. Love to hear it.
He caught 4 balls. He caught a back shoulder on the sideline that was awesome. He caught one as a crosser down low. He had to go down to the ground to get it while he was getting tripped from behind. I mean, the guy's got great hand-eye coordination, great body control.
You know, and Pat already mentioned Julius Gillick, who we really didn't get to see at all this year at Edison High in Huntington Beach, where Pat's old quarterback Jeff Grady was his coach. Jordan Malau-Ulu this year, I thought, showed something in the punt return game. If he gets a little stronger, maybe better route runner, he could be a big weapon on offense for Fresno State. And I'm still intrigued by Mordecai Hines. We barely got a taste at the end of the year. But, there's a guy, I think, with his wingspan, he could be a monster on the defensive line when he really polishes his game.
Our biggest need is we got to find a couple Finn Claypools out there. And I think this staff understands they don't have to be 6'4", 6'5" to play on the edge. You have to be tough, you have to be quick, and you have to play like a ball of butcher knives. You just have to go.
Like David Perales was too, right?
Yeah, Perales was the same way. Garrett McIntyre, Tyler Klutz, Justin Johnson when you were playing. I mean, those guys, Jake Probst, I mean, those guys weren't over 230 pounds but could rush the passer. And they might get bent and turned at the line of scrimmage, but they end up getting out of it and making plays, and that's what you want, playmakers.
Before we move into the signing class, what were some of your favorite plays to call on the radio this year?
I'm Jakari Embry's pick 6 against Oregon State to kind of seal the deal. I mean, for me, that's top of the list because that was a back and forth game. We had just gone up with the field goal. Oregon State had an opportunity. They had moved the ball all day long, and finally somebody stepped in front of an outcut. They had hit outcuts all day long, and Jakari Embry stepped right in front of it, took it to the house. I mean, I was on the sideline and right in front of a bunch of Bulldog fans, and we were losing our minds on the sideline. So for me, that's play number 1 as far as excitement goes for the 2025 season.
I'm having a hard time with that, though. You could take a few of Speedy Luke's plays. There's a highlight reel of those.
Including that Oregon State game when it got the
kickoff return for a touchdown that got called back. That was a big – and Malulu had a big punt return that was nice. And but that play he took it before I could say it. That interception at Oregon State was huge.
And Thunderbirds pick 6. And even like that whole Hawaii game, you look back, that might have been their best game of the year with what Hawaii turned out to be and the clutch plays. E.J. Warner made some huge plays in that game to help win it. And Harris at the goal line denying the 2-point conversion. That was a heck of a game.
Yeah, really was. That basketball game last night, I listened to the whole thing.
I'm sorry.
That was tough.
It was.
Boy, we played hard, though. We were down 18 in the first quarter. Jeez.
Had a chance. Yep.
And they battled.
They did. They did.
First signing class in the Ince era. What are your initial thoughts on the signing class?
Hold on. I got to say, my favorite moments, when these guys know so much football and they can explain it all, but my favorite moments, because it takes a lot to impress them, but when you hear them kind of bringing back the old like Tim Toolman Taylor or something, like really reacting like a guttural noise comes out of Pat or Cam, and I think the guy who produced the most of those moments was Ram Man, was Brandon Ramirez. When he destroyed someone or like made them disappear on a block, you could hear these guys getting excited, and those are the moments that I thought were pretty fun too.
Well, he does. I mean, he's not just a blocker either. That guy can run. He's a downhill running back, and I'm going to tell you what, you're going to like Gillick.
Yeah.
If Gillick gets on the field, he's explosive, and he doesn't back down from contact. Now, what you got to be able to do, you got to be able to, take people on because they get tired of taking you on. Early, everybody's pumped up. They're hitting you head on. As the game goes on, they start to turn just a little bit. He can cause you to turn. Brandon will make you flinch.
Yeah, everybody talks about throwback players, but Brandon Ramirez really is a throwback player because he's not just out there and is okay with contact. He's seeking contact out. He's trying to inflict punishment on the opponent. And I don't know if that exists on a wide scale in football anymore. Brandon Ramirez is really that dude out there trying to look people up every snap.
You're going to like Gillick because they used him at fullback today, too, and he's hunting them up, too.
I love it.
You're going to love it. It's going to be fun. But that's the kind of football he wants to play.
That fits. That's what
and that type of football still works, especially in our league now, because there isn't the premium on quarterbacks like there used to be.
First signing class in the Ince era, what stands out to you about the signing class?
Deegan Rose. I mean, you got to start with Deegan Rose. I mean, everybody watched him for 4 years at Clovis High. We had him on TV a bunch of times over his career. He's as smooth as they come. He's calm. He's a leader. He can make every throw. He's kind of been, built throughout the course of his life. His dad was a great high school quarterback, semi-pro quarterback, great athlete. I think with the love that he's felt from the Valley as a high school player is just going to continue with his career as a Bulldog. And I'm excited to see him step onto campus and compete against some of the guys that are coming back to see, who is eventually going to separate themselves and be the starter game one next year.
And the key to him, he was available every Friday night. Every week he played. From his freshman year on, I saw him in his first game against Long Beach Poly. He was a freshman, and I mean, he got the tar beat out of him. Notice how I said the tar beat out of him, see? So I'm coming along. We didn't want to take another take on this show. But, God, he got up. He had to run to the sideline to get every play. I mean, the guy, I like it that he's available. Quarterback's not always available every week.
You're saying he's tough, he's resilient, he can take some shots and keep going.
Yeah, and he shows up. I don't know how many high school games he played, but he answered the bell for every one of them.
And let's give the recruiting staff some credit because he was committed to another school for a long time, and they didn't give up. They stayed on him, and that was a big sign that what the mentality is. There was a great Valley focus on this class. Pat's sold me over the years on the importance of recruiting high school players primarily and developing them, which in this day and age, some people don't have the patience to do it. But this was almost exclusively a high school class to this point. They'll add some more from the portal, and I think that'll really tell us the class. But I think they're really excited about what's coming in. And I'm curious, Pat, what we're going to see on the offensive and defensive lines once these guys get in.
But like you said, the portal's different now than it was 2 years ago. The portal now, there's a lot more money involved in buying players, and it's going to get harder and harder to I don't know what Jake Hayner would cost now.
Good point.
It's different now. It's going to get harder and harder. You're going to have to develop some homegrown quarterbacks, something we haven't done here since Derek Carr. The last recruited quarterback that played quarterback here was Jorge Reyna.
That's fair. Paul, you interviewed some of the local recruits at the radio show. Did anything stand out to you in those interviews?
I think just the brand of the Bulldog, right? I mean, Deegan Rose was there. We also had Chase Perino from up in Modesto. He's a safety from Deron Bland's high school, Central Catholic. But hearing his perspective on what the Green V, what the Four Paw, what the Bulldog logo still means up and down the Valley, I think that's really big. And Valley players been playing here for decades, but this guy right here, I think, put it in a form that people could latch onto more. When he said, I'm going to paint the Valley red and I'm going to put that green V on the helmet, it just gave people outside of Fresno something else to grab onto, say, oh, you really see us, and we are part of this. And I think Coach Entz has embraced that. Coach Baxter, embodies that. And I see recruits up and down the Valley really responding to that in a way that reminds me of 25 years ago when Pat was coaching.
Well, if you look at the great players that have played here that have extended their careers, one of them sitting right here with us, they're from anywhere from Sacramento to Bakersfield. I mean, if you go back for years, Henry Ellards, the great players of the past, Kevin Sweeney, Derek Carr, you can go on and on, Logan Mankins, Cam Worrell, Vernon Fox, Brandon Sanders. It goes on and on and on. They're Valley kids.
And the other wrinkle with this class is because of who these coaches are and where they come from, they're not wasting the wealth of recruiting ties that they have in the areas where they were before. So
They did a good
you got
job.
players from St. Louis, players from Omaha, and it'll be interesting to see how they mesh too.
I believe these guys understand what they're looking for.
Yeah, I think Finn Claypool is a perfect example of that.
Perfect.
They brought him in from Drake, undersized, probably didn't have a ton of Division I schools looking at him, but they identified something in him, and he fit perfectly. Zephaniah Cisse, another kid, a linebacker from Redwood. Talk about a throwback. Bulldog fans are going to love the way he plays the game. He's just like Brandon Ramirez. Every single snap, he's trying to inflict punishment on the opponent, and he does it with a high motor. So Bulldog fans look forward to seeing Zephaniah Cisse from Redwood.
You look at when Jeff was here. I mean, how about the two great players we got out of Sac State?
Yeah,
Bland and
Paralysis.
Paralysis.
Paralysis, yeah.
You know, I don't think
Valley kids too. Merced
I
and
just don't
Modesto.
think you take somebody second or third in a Power 5 school or Power 4 school or whatever they're called now. I think you go look at those kids that maybe got overlooked, that got developed, and bring them up. I like that approach.
10 signees are coming in as early enrollees. That seems like a lot to be here for spring ball, but what will that do for their development?
Cool. I mean, it's just you accelerate. It's an entire semester, not just being a college student, but getting taught how to be a college football player. So we're going to see those 10 kids that come in, not to say that the other recruits that come in the fall aren't going to have a chance to play as true freshmen, but you come in the spring and you have that entire period to acclimate to what college football is. These guys are going to have a real opportunity to see the field as true freshmen come the fall.
They need to see the speed of the game. The speed of the game from high school to college is a big jump, just like from college to the pros is a huge jump. The windows that Deegan Rose saw in high school will be a lot smaller.
Mm-hmm.
And if he goes to the next level, they get even smaller. So it's just the speed of the game increases.
And the quarterback position, I think, is where that early entrance is even more valuable. You're part of spring ball. You're understanding the offense. You get to show, like if he comes out, Deegan, for example, and they signed 2 quarterbacks in this class, right? Either one of them is able to come out in the spring and get a leg up, then all of a sudden the coaching staff's, well, maybe we can play a true freshman in the fall. I think ideally you look at it from a safety perspective and a trust perspective, and you're saying, well, let's get an experienced guy from the portal who started a few games so we don't have a guy making his first college start in the Coliseum against USC in September. But if Deegan comes out in the spring and can command the offense, he's got the kind of arm that you need, right? I think it's more between the ears and the field that he's going to need to develop with time in the saddle.
Yeah, I can remember David's first start was Ohio State, and Derek's first start was Cal, then Nebraska. So, yeah, it's tough. But you learn under fire.
Yeah, and when you come in the spring, you get that entire spring practice period to learn the system. And then when fall camp starts over, you go back to the beginning and you go through that entire system again. So it's such an advantage to get that time to learn what you're being asked to do and then work on it all summer and then take that step back. And now, okay, I can recall from the spring what I need to do. It's not fresh. I'm not digesting all of this information every single day and just trying to keep my head above water. I'm comfortable with what I'm being asked to do.
All right, let's close out the episode talking about the Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl. What about this matchup is intriguing?
Well, the good thing is my playlist will work there, my music.
You're a big Snoop Dogg
Yeah?
guy?
No.
Is that why you're wearing blue today, Pat?
I'm a Led Zeppelin, AC/DC.
We know. We know.
I'm a hard rock guy.
Yeah, we hear it on the plane.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you keep
Have
the
you ever heard
volume
of the
up.
Pandora Led Zeppelin playlist?
Yeah, there you go. I've got you hooked. You're into
I
it.
know. I'm in it.
I think it's cool, right? Speedy Luke has a great relationship with Snoop. I mean, Snoop has done a ton for youth football players in California. He really has. The league that he runs in L.A. has sent so many guys throughout youth football and on to have more football success in their lives. So I think it's awesome. Snoop Dogg, Fresno State Bulldogs, it just kind of fits. He's a California guy. And it's a good matchup. A MAC team that was in the MAC championship lost to Western Michigan, Miami of Ohio. So I think it's going to be a really good matchup on the field as well.
Those MAC teams are always tough. I've been watching them on defense the last couple of days. They're a good defensive football team. They're very mobile. They really play flat to the line of scrimmage. They're going to be hard to run the ball on. They're a good football team. And play a lot of just 3-week coverage. They don't do a whole lot, but what they do good. And people are going to like Tucson. It's I coached there back in the 90s with Dick Tomey, and it's a beautiful stadium, beautiful facility. Got a nice indoor facility if we need to work out in that. But the weather should be great. The field's beautiful, and where the team's staying is magnificent. So it'll be a nice bowl game. If you compare it to New Mexico and you compare it to Boise and you compare it to Hawaii and those, I think from a facility and what the kids are going to be seeing out there, I think it's a great bowl for them. It's something new too. It's something new.
Something new. Snoop Dogg is relevant to all the
Yeah,
players.
he is.
And I mean, I've heard, just put it in context with all the other bowls that we've seen over the years, more people are talking about this than any bowl we've been to in a while because of Snoop. Maybe since the L.A. Bowl. That was kind of a novel thing, too.
Well, that was a big one.
That.
That was nice. SoFi Stadium and playing
Yeah.
against a Pac-12 opponent at that time, and that was great.
But now it's, you guys going to meet Snoop. Is he going to hang out with Pat? Is Pat going to say for shizzle? I mean, I've had all
The
kinds
sizzle, yeah.
Oh, see? There you go.
I'm already getting my Snoop Dogg on.
His playlist, his Pandora Snoop Dogg playlist.
But
I'm
what
going to have to change. I'm going to have to change. You're going to have to show me where
I'll show you it.
Yeah.
We'll show you how to walk. But for the fans, it's so accessible. It's going to be 80 degrees. It's 2 days after Christmas. So you could get somebody, tickets for Christmas. They leave the next day. They get there,
Yep.
experience
Flights
the
to
game.
Phoenix are really cheap, and then just drive to Tucson 2 hours.
Yeah.
I mean, it's you can go to Phoenix round trip for less than $500.
I mean, it's 11 hours in the car if you
you
really
drive.
want to do it. Yeah, it's doable. It's definitely a doable trip.
My mom lived in Tucson. I've done that trip a million times driving to it. When I take the wife or any of the grandchildren with me or my kids with me, I would always stop in Palm Springs. That's the halfway point.
Mm-hmm.
Spend the night in Palm Springs and go 6 hours, and you're there. Nice drive.
I'm surprised
easy.
you let people stay the night and didn't just bang it all out 11 hours and
Well, yeah.
one stop and we're moving.
But when you got grandkids with you, it's a little tougher.
But it's more accessible. It's better weather than any bowl the Dogs have been in the last couple of years. and
Well,
I
that's
think it's
what
great
made the
for fans.
Silicon Valley Bowl so good. And you got to remember, we had Destiny's Child, and everybody was making a big deal out of, what the heck is Destiny's
right,
Child? That was
yeah.
only Beyonce. Well, I'll tell you what,
Yeah.
that
It's a
place.
hot take.
Remember that?
I remember it.
I mean, but the Fresno Bee was making a mockery of it. That was a heck of a. We got to see Beyonce when she was young.
Yeah.
Those are some
Yeah.
great bowl matchups, too.
Yeah.
That was Air Force, I
Yeah,
think, that
Michigan,
year.
Yeah.
Michigan State,
Yeah, there were some great.
Georgia Tech. Yeah,
We
that was
had
fun.
Georgia Tech, Michigan State, UCLA, and it was close. We used to fill their stadium with red.
And Cam would have taken that pick to the house if it wasn't so muddy.
Yeah.
Well,
I got
there's another
I
one
did
against
get tripped
Michigan
up,
State.
yeah.
He fell down in the mud. I don't know what happened.
I got tripped up. Yes. Hey, just so we're all clear, we did not plan this sweatshirt. We did not plan
planned it.
to
They
wear
called
the
each
same
other this
thing. We
morning.
all just showed up in the same blue sweatshirt. Pat was at practice. Paul got back from Northridge last night late. I just threw this
Oh, yeah,
on. So
you got
just so
one
we're
pair
all
of
on the
travel
same-
sweats. That was it. And you wore
I still,
them every week.
I still have them. They're hanging up in the closet right now. The throwbacks.
Don't
Where's
wear-
yours, Taylor?
And don't wear
Yeah.
your
I
hat
know. Why
clipper.
am I not included in this?
Because we didn't plan this. That's why.
Yeah, we
If you were really on the same brainwave,
Yeah,
you would have just
yeah.
known.
we make
Yeah.
this podcast interesting because we just go off track all the time.
Do any of you have any experiences with Miami, Ohio?
Zero.
No.
I don't either.
I do remember Wally Zerbiak playing at Selland Arena against Tark's team.
Oh, wow.
When he's probably the best player Miami of Ohio's ever had
Yeah.
in
Wally
basketball.
Zerbiak?
Yeah.
Wally Zerbiak. Great player.
Great shooter. Still on TV.
Sounds
Still
like a
doing it.
wrestler.
I've known a few people that have gone there, and my
They
nephew
used to be
goes
the Redskins.
Now they're the Red Hawks.
Red Hawks, yeah.
Yeah,
Redskins.
Like
Cam
the
can
tribe.
talk about that from his
Yeah,
high school
like the
days.
tribe. Yep. Yeah.
Ben Roethlisberger, of course. Maybe Big Ben and the Carr brothers will have a little friendly wager
I do
on
know
this
one
or
thing. It's a
something.
beautiful campus. I've been on their
Right.
campus to work out kids before when I was with Cleveland, and it's a beautiful campus. I mean, it's like old school, like in the South. Big pillars and just a beautiful campus.
What does a bowl game win do for a program?
Just gives you momentum into next year. I tell you what, bowl games. I probably didn't take the right approach to bowl games. I like to let a lot of the younger kids play, and when we practiced for those games, it was mostly live contact for our young kids, trying to get them ready for next year, and then the game, the veterans got a little bit more rest, which was probably not the right thing to do, but. Because we didn't win as many. We had a lot of close losses in bowl games, which shouldn't have happened. But I think it's a great time to prepare, like today's practice, tomorrow's practice, Saturday's practice. I mean, these are practices that are going to be beneficial for our young players for next year. I think that's the greatest benefit, especially playing one as late as we're playing.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's fun. Like Pat said, you get so much developmental time for the young guys. But, I mean, just thinking back, my senior year was Pat's first bowl win against Georgia Tech,
Right.
and we went out as winners. And we had been a group of guys who, started young. I took a different path. I had to go to Fresno City and then come back. But, to be around guys for 5 years and to really work hard. If you survived 5 years in Pat's program, you knew how to work hard. So for us to go out as winners, it just kind of put a great, it closed out your career in a positive way. You knew that the young guys were going to continue to build that program into what it could be. And, it just leaves a great lasting impression for the guys going out. And for the young guys, it's just additional time that you get to develop. And the guys who really want to develop, they're taking advantage of this time because it's time that not every program gets. And it was a special time. We had fun. We got into it with the opponent. We played good football. It was really a great cap to a football season.
The next year, were you there from Michigan State too?
Yeah.
The next year we got into it with the opponent
Quite a
even
bit,
more.
yeah.
That was almost an all-out brawl at Band Day or something. But bowl games were. Yeah, they were. It was always exciting playing a big opponent. As time went on, we became the big opponent for another team, and it was a little tougher. But that game against Georgia Tech, that's the one game that I remember my wife was really fired up for. I guess they went out on a wives' dinner, and they were coming up in the elevator. They were with the Georgia Tech wives, and the Georgia Tech head coach's wife said, "Boy, y'all got a good little team." Boy, my wife waited up for me, and when I got home, boy, she was after me, man. You heard what she said. She said, "We got a good little team." Blah, 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 blah. I got fired up. I almost called. I wanted to practice again.
I'm surprised you didn't.
Kathy got all fired up over that.
I love it.
I've never heard that story before.
Oh, it's a great one. I mean, she was ready, man. I said, "You should have heard what she said." I would have said something back to her, but I just couldn't. All right.
We handled it, though. We took care of it for Kathy.
The elevator, man.
We took care of it for
Yeah,
Kathy.
we did.
Yeah,
We did.
We got it done.
She was fired up after that one, yeah.
And you see how the players got excited with the milk can in Boise, with the Valley Trophy. Those games that have a trophy, and bowl games always have a trophy. There's
Yeah.
something to they're getting more and more creative with these celebrations. But it is. So you think about the guys, look at Jordan Brown, 7 years on this campus, and this is his last game, or a Cam Brock, or some of these veterans. And I was thinking about Tarwater, too. You talked about him. And I realized the one guy we really left out that we should mention when it comes to guys who showed a lot this year that'll be big in the future, Richie Anderson. None of us mentioned his name.
Yeah.
He came a long way this year at
Yeah.
tight end.
Yeah, he was beat up a little bit, too, this year. I think next year with another year in the weight room will make him even better.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm excited for the Snoop Dogg Arizona
Are you? I
Bowl.
want to ask you, are you excited?
I'm so excited. We
Okay,
do
good.
have to get a picture with Snoop. My mom said I'm only allowed to miss Christmas if I get a picture with Snoop Dogg.
That's fair.
Wow.
That's
Wow.
fair.
So,
Are you going to get her Snoop on a stoop?
you know what? I don't know what that is, but
It's Elf on a Shelf, only it's Snoop on a
okay,
stoop.
I was thinking I have his Crook to Cook cookbook,
Oh.
and I was thinking maybe I need to bring that
Yeah.
to have
Have him
him
autograph.
Sign it for sure.
right?
Yeah.
Crook to
I think
Crook
Snoop
to
Dogg will
cook.
take. I think Snoop Dogg will take a picture with you.
Okay, well, we'll see. Well, thanks for joining
To
me today,
sizzle.
guys.
Of course.
Wait, can you say that again?
We'll work
no
on
better way to
that.
end
We'll,
this,
we'll work on that. We'll work on that.
Then the turkey call. I mean, look at the turkey call.
Do it. There we go.
Got to have some fun, right?
Have to. All right. Well, we'll go back to that. We'll do that again
Yep.
on our podcast in Tucson.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. All right, guys. Well, thanks for joining me today.
It was
and
great.
we'll see you next time on the pod.
Hey, let's talk about the man behind the film, though. Bones over there. God love him.
Bones.
Welcome back to the pod Checkerboard Chats. Today we have a recruiting episode for Fresno State football. We're here with L.J. Early, the director of recruiting.
Hello.
You just signed your first class under Matt Entz. So talk to me about this class.
Yeah, a little different now, obviously. Now with first year being under Coach Ince, so this class is a little different. Being Midwest guys and some California guys, I could say necessarily they are dog-wired dudes for sure, like through and through. Guys would like to say, right, some Midwest guys are pretty much Valley guys in a sense, and I think like that's what they are really, is legit dog-wired dudes.
When you look at the talent of this class, how would you describe it?
I could say pretty much like character-wise for sure, well-driven, leadership guys, and pretty much what you could really say is really talented. Like probably either early guys that could start like right now, or even like 1 to 2 years. Like those guys will be the upcoming and Pac-12 champs necessarily.
So being from the Valley, you played here. Mm-hmm. How easy is it for you to sell your alma mater?
How I like to really tell these guys is, since I've been here, I know the role. I could tell them about the program in the back of my hand. Granted, even if it's a different coaching staff, it doesn't change. Mm-hmm. The pride and tradition does not change like at all, right? And I tell them too, like, hey, just because you don't need to call me coach because I don't coach a position at all, right? Treat me like I'm one of your friends, obviously with respect, and that gets them a little bit comfortable. So like being in the Valley and from the Valley, there's different like and ample amount of things I could tell them about it, and they'll kind of like, okay, he's been in my shoes before and whatnot, and so I kind of trust what he's saying since he's played here.
What about this program resonates the most with them, you think?
Still family oriented, right? Like through and through. I mean, with these summer OVs that we've had, all the coaching staff brought their wives or significant others, and they were able to see like, okay, they're all involved as well and pretty much saying the exact same thing.
What are some non-physical traits that you look for when you're recruiting?
Like how you necessarily like carry yourself, just with either the coaches or how you're interacting with even like support staff and whatnot, right? And that even comes with the eval process of watching them on the field. Mm-hmm. Like say like they're not getting the ball, like are you pouting and whatnot? Are you not with the team? Are you like it's like what are you doing necessarily? Like do you like again? It's like the leadership roles. Like is it in you or not?
Who's someone in this class that you think is going to outperform what they're ranked or rated?
Once they get here, stars necessarily don't matter, right? But I think our sleeper in our recruiting and personnel department is probably Brendan Huddleston. Okay. So from St. Louis, Missouri, really necessarily like under-recruited. He is kind of undersized, but to us, he's going to be a monster. He's through and through pretty much. He's going to do whatever you say and do it the right way. So that is our sleeper, for sure.
So you have 10 enrolling early. How important is that?
Good example of the obviously early enrollee is Braden Wallen. I mean, we have 2 others before, Jordan Malaulu and Jaden Mandel. But with Braden, I mean, 6 months to 6 weeks, you could totally tell the difference. Now, obviously, with that 6 months, he was able to be a starter. And we necessarily didn't think that coming in, especially with him coming off a knee injury that he had in high school. You see it. So now, hopefully, the guys that coming in early necessarily see, like, okay, if I get those 6 months and necessarily compete what I need to do coming out of high school and like still develop and learn from the older guys, I could potentially be a two deep guy or a core 4 player like in special teams, like one of those. As long as I'm necessarily getting on the field, I'm at least getting my PT and learning and developing.
So 12 players from California, 6 from the Valley. Let's talk about keeping those Valley players home.
Tons of Valley kids. Obviously, with myself, obviously wasn't out of high school, I was out of JUCO, but it doesn't really necessarily matter because I'm still a Valley kid. Tons of talent here. Tons of talent. Obviously, you get upset that the ones that you miss on, it's either they obviously got P4 schools or P5 or they just want to be here in the Valley. Like it tends to happen seeing like your homegrown team and it's like, I don't want to be home anymore. Like I want to go explore. But I think if they were here, you could tell of how much like people will be behind them instead of being outside, like outside of Fresno and whatnot. But I think it's super important just because, again, like I said, there's tons of talent. Don't want to miss out on that talent because then you could probably build a whole team of straight Valley kids, and it'll be quite insane.
So this new coaching staff having so many ties from the Midwest, how have you added that in?
Yeah, little different. Obviously, one of our guys this year, Keenan Cotton, Midwest guy from Omaha, Nebraska, took the chance to obviously go away from home. So then I kind of lean on him a little bit on, okay, like what is it different from you, and like how are you adapting to this lifestyle, being away from home and whatnot. So I'll try to connect with him and then have the recruits be with him just a little bit more so they could necessarily see it's like, okay, it's good to be away from home. Like obviously, yes, you will be homesick, but being away from that flock and whatnot, it'll be good.
How do you recruit for immediate needs versus long-term needs?
Portal's a little bit different, obviously, than high school kids, right? I would say with portal needs, it's like immediate, right? Like okay, we're not having some seniors leave obviously this class and whatnot, and we still have young guys, but we still need those guys to learn and develop at least for the time being, so that they could be the two deep. And if he goes down, then rotate and plug and play and whatnot. So that's necessarily the only thing like what we see portal wise, unless like we think like okay, like to bridge a gap like in the depth chart of classes and whatnot. Like if we have a lot more, if we're like only one senior with tons of sophomores, like okay, let's probably get like a junior in there somewhere. So it just still helps them out a little bit and still help develop and whatnot.
Talk about the difference in the recruiting process between recruiting a high school kid, the things that maybe they care about or that the relationship you need to build versus a player you get out of the portal.
Yeah, so with high school kids, pretty much do it 3 days, right? So they'll get here Friday or afternoon Friday, full day Saturday, and leave Sunday afternoon. So pretty much get all the meetings that they necessarily need to see and meet with, and get them here as just pretty much like wine and dine, right? Like treat them to those fancy restaurants, have them around with our players and whatnot, so they could kind of see like the lifestyle that they do and have, and pretty much okay, like just getting together with them compared to how we like to say is like for the portal guys, it's speed dating, 24 hours legit, get here either at night, dinner, and then talk ball the whole day, like the next day. And so trying to have those guys like see if they could fit into the role of okay, like what we're trying to buy in with them with the portal guys, and like the scheme of things and whatnot. And then if not, then it's like on to the next, because it's gonna happen quick. Like there's gonna be visits like back to back to back once the portal opens. Like it's insane.
Yeah, go through a recruiting weekend, an official visit weekend. What's on your schedule? So,
like I said, Friday it'll be the introductions. Either meet with strength staff, academics, and then dinner, and then they'll go out with their recruit or with their player hosts, like at night. Saturday, again, is going to be more nutrition, position meetings, coordinator meetings, head coach meetings, lunch. And obviously, like you'll have your meals like in between, campus tour, photo shoot, because, high school kids love these photo shoots, so like they always want to. And then with portal guys, like I said, it's more okay. You get in and you just talk ball. Like I said, it's get in at night, full day Saturday, and gone Saturday night.
How do you develop these relationships with who you're recruiting?
I think I personally like have it a little bit easier than others because recruited in high school, recruited JUCO, and then played college. So I could tell them my backstory of everything of what I've been through and how it is, like, okay, like what they would be doing. And so, so just the relationship with them, it's like, okay, like I said, you don't need to call me coach. Just treat me like with respect and have me like as a friend and whatnot, because I've always been in your corner. Doesn't matter what it is. And then obviously getting through to their parents, because that's another huge thing for them, especially like with the moms. Like that's That's a huge role because that there could be like the baby in the family,
Yep.
and that is her little baby.
You gotta win over the mom.
Yep, 100% have to.
So tell us about how you find these kids. Do you find them on Twitter? Do you find them on, like, where do you find them?
All those DMs that they are sending, it's flooded, 100%. It's flooded. It is hard to keep track of everybody that does send you DMs, but we do go through a database called ARMS and Catapult, who necessarily just is continuing to necessarily do what we do and put them in ARMS, so where like there's already profiles being made and whatnot, and we just search up like track numbers or just going based off of school. Okay, like this guy is getting brought up. Let's see what he's about. So there's always like ways that we're gonna find you, even if you're not sending anything. Like something's gonna get brought up at some point, and like I said, it is a long process. Yeah. I could say that.
How much film do you watch a week?
It's me. Not enough. I can say that. Not enough for sure. But just know that it's just a lot of breaking down, making highlight tapes for them, and getting these guys through the pipeline for sure. Because I know personnel wise, like they are constantly watching tape, and we kind of broke it down of who has what positions. So obviously me playing here and whatnot, I have the DBs, right? So corners, nickels, safeties. Jaden will have O-line, D-line guys, and linebackers. Cody will have quarterbacks, running backs, and receivers, I believe. And then Jake does a little bit too. If it's brought up to him, he'll just watch them, like whatever, like he needs necessarily, and still getting connected with the coaches. And that's the hard part too, because obviously the coaches are still game planning and still trying to, even if it's off season, they're still game planning. They're on the road, recruiting, so like they're sending us guys as well. Like, okay, like hey, if we haven't watched this guy, look him up and see like how he is. And so when he gets back in the office, at least we have everything for him, like how he's playing, like what type of body type he is, athletic ability, speed, because it might show a little bit different like than he sees in person. Like he might be like, okay, like seeing him in person is like, okay, he has the traits, but what does his football film look like? And his football film could be a lot better. And so that's like I said, it's a whole process in that as well.
When you see the graphics, like coaches on the road, how do you decide where they go?
All the coaches have areas, so it's all broken down on necessarily like what they've been either used to, like in the past, or like what they've just had like once they've got here. So for sure, like the Valley, we kind of blitz the Valley with every coach. Like doesn't matter like what it is, so at least they could see like what's around. And then from there, going from San Diego with JD to Sacramento with Ferentz and San Francisco with AP. Like it's just up and down, right? And then we'll branch out to connections on obviously with the Midwest guys. Like those, they will take us like G Lee, Coach Hall Oliver, Crab to like going to Utah and Colorado, like Vegas, like Arizona, all those places. So it's all broken down.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's go through this class a little bit and tell me what are the first words or sentence that you think of when I say a player's name. Okay. Jacob Chambers.
Dog.
Just simply
Just
dog.
Dog.
Deegan Rose.
Field General.
Field General. Okay, that's a good one. Jadis Lucky.
Jay, what a diss. Oh, explosive.
And he's already joining a room that has a lot of talent.
100%.
But what makes him different than what we already have in the room?
Just what he could do. Obviously with the ball in his hand, being a little bit more versatile, catching the ball and whatnot. So out of the backfield instead of just running the ball. And so that kind of adds a little package in his game for sure.
Okay. Bryce McDaniel.
Blue collar.
Dallas.
Dallas is different since he's a Midwest guy. Potential, if anything.
Potential. Okay. Alex Rivera.
Sleeper.
Sleeper.
Under recruited.
Efren Siloa.
Yeah. Hawaii kid.
Yep.
He's gonna be. He's a goofball for sure, but playing wise, he's a monster.
A monster.
Yeah.
Xavier Owens.
Think of him as like your Slim Reaper.
Okay. Maxwell Young.
Maxwell Bunchy will be. Describing him is a little different too, because obviously with all the hype behind him, and obviously with the social media and like what everybody's been seeing, he's one that's gonna. He's also kind of like a sleeper in a sense, to a point where that's like, just with the hype of it, people are gonna think like too much, and I think he's just gonna just have everybody sleep.
Really? How do you think those two are going to elevate the wide receiver room?
100%. Obviously, two different styles of play. Obviously, like with X being your lengthier receiver, so kind of like a Josiah, right? Who necessarily needs to get into the frame, right? So if him being an early enrollee, well, both of them being an early enrollee, getting that frame and being able to try to at least get into the role of at least 2 deep or 3 deep, if that. With X, he for sure has a more upside just because of size and whatnot, especially coming out of transferring from Edna Carr. And then with Bunchy being in that slot role and with his speed and being able to make tons of catches contested, they will for sure elevate it just a little bit more than what we have.
Okay. Your one JUCO, Ethan Rossetti, long snapper.
Yeah, just another guy who, for some reason, we love getting those JUCO long snappers. Kind of seem like as Wes. I think he'll for sure be a dog. Yeah.
Solomon Baker.
You're just hard worker.
Hard worker.
Yeah.
Brendan Huddleston.
Like I said earlier, that sleeper.
Sleeper.
For sure.
Jake Plummer first.
Talented.
Okay. Cooper Willingby.
Cooper Willoughby. The Willow Beast.
That we got to save that for Twitter
Willow Beast.
to use. Yeah, we'll
Yes.
save that. Zephaniah Cisse.
I love Zeph. Him being from Visalia and whatnot, or Hanford, and then going to Visalia. Mr. Crash.
Mr. Crash. Jaden Sitko.
Jaden Setko. Versatile.
Versatile. Truly Bell.
My guy, True. True's going to be your talented as well.
Okay.
He has a lot of upside playing corner and being in that room. Obviously, you know how it is. Like, we had Deron Bland here. We've had Cam Locke and everybody. Like, that room's going to have so much talent. It's insane.
Okay. Franklin Lockhart.
Franklin, Buddy, another Terry kid. Love you, man. Call him Buddy Love. Buddy, potential.
Okay.
Buddy has a potential.
Isaiah Lucero.
Athletic. Very athletic.
Okay. Chase Perino.
Captain.
Captain.
Think of him, baby Braca.
Really? Okay,
Yeah,
big
for sure.
shoes to fill.
100%.
So I know we don't know what we're getting out of the portal yet, but when you look at what you got from high school and what you expect to get out of the portal, what's a position on one on the offensive side of the ball, one on the defensive side of the ball that the Red Wave should look out for next year?
I would for sure say O-line offensively. Obviously, we see like what we're losing and whatnot, so kind of got to replace those. And then defensively, I think I'd still say our corners.
Corners?
I think so.
We are corner you a little bit.
Just a little bit.
A little bit.
Just a little bit.
So for someone who wants to get recruited, what would be your tips and tricks?
One thing I would for sure say is watch what you post. That's we see everything. You're always being evaluated on that. And to help get recruited a little bit more is have your profile updated. So obviously have your name, have the school that you go to and or that you're attending, have the sports that you play, position. If you have any track times, please add those. Have your phone number, have your coach's phone number, and then if you do have an NCAA ID, add that as well because that makes that whole process so much easier.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what about someone who wants to get into recruiting? Share your journey first, and then give some tips and tricks if you were to do it all over again.
Okay, my journey necessarily just started with got a phone call from Coach JD. I was like, hey, our recruiting guy at the time, Mason, wants to talk to you, see if you want to be a part of recruiting. In my head, I'm like, okay, haven't really thought about being in the process of it at all. Like I was coaching at a junior college at the time, and I was like, okay, let me just see what he's necessarily the whole recruiting is talking about. Told me what necessarily entails and whatnot. He was like, if you don't like it, obviously, then we're gonna go find somebody. And he was like, you're just an immediate hire. So okay, but then he called me the next day, told me a little bit more about it, and I was like, it's not a bad idea to go back home, especially being part of a winning team and being a part of a program that I know and the coaching staff as well at the time. And so I was like, yeah, I'll take it. So once I got here, middle of the season, 23 in October, was totally different. Obviously, was put in the fire, pretty much, right, with OVs and whatnot. So like I'm in there like I don't know what I'm doing, but obviously he helped direct me in the right way, especially with Nate Applebaum, who's now at JMU. Helped me out a little bit about it, how to eval guys a little bit more, brought in it too, and just like what to look for, how to eval, and not just like the operation side of what I was kind of doing. And now obviously after the season will be my fourth season, being the director of recruiting, and to necessarily get into it, I'd say try being an intern. Like if this is something that you do want to do, even if it's not playing, be an intern and kind of see what our day-to-day process is like. It's not really hectic, but it's just like there's so much other things that we do outside of just watching film. Like there's little tasks, little things that like for the recruiting portion, like we'll have little stats for everybody so like they could see what we're going on for, like, right, like just rushing wise or on defense, like how many interceptions or whatever it is, right? It's like always being on top of that. So I mean that's the only way. But obviously it has to be something that like you want to do even if you can't play football. Like it's like sports is necessarily your passion, right? And like you're fine with watching a lot of tape. That's what it necessarily comes down to.
And it's around the clock every month of the year. So talk about what your yearly calendar looks like, because you really don't have an off season.
No. So I guess our off season would be like our dead periods. So December is a dead period. So this is our off season. Like we can't really do anything, but we're still watching the portal, like who's going in and whatnot. Seeing if guys that like high school guys that like we've probably watched and like they haven't signed. So it's okay, let's probably get them like after or during January, if that, right? And then January is pretty much open again of portal and probably some high school guys. February is dead. And then now from March on is pretty much your recruiting, getting guys on campus, unofficial visits, and whatnot. Having the coaches on the road. So from March to the end of June is when we're constantly recruiting. So now that class would be 27s, getting 28s here on campus. And then dead July and August, and then back at it again. So it's just a repeating cycle. So it doesn't seem like we do have a breather, which again, like right after signing day, that was our breather. Like, okay, we're fine. And then now we're in bowl prep. So we're kind of still on the clock there, but still trying to keep an eye out on the portal as well. Like, okay, who's going in? What, like, who can we just keep tabs on and whatnot? Having these coaches watch these guys. And then once it opens, it's like we're hitting them up like right away. And so yeah, it doesn't seem like we do have time, but like there's some days like where it's like, okay, hey, go take these couple days off.
Take a breather.
Yeah. 100%. Go and have these couple days. Go spend time with your family. Go out of Fresno and come back, and then you'll be fine. Which is actually like those couple days do help. I can say that 100%. Like being away from Fresno, being away from football for a couple days is good for the conscience.
Yeah, I get that work-life balance a little bit.
100%.
Last questions. Okay, so you talked about the host, right? The player host. Mm-hmm. If you had a recruit coming in, you needed them to sign, and you got to pick 2 team hosts, and you knew that they were going to get this kid signed, who are you picking?
All right, gotta pick Valley Grown, Jaden Davis.
Okay.
Have to. And then the one that we've used the most is Eddie Fanua.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
What about him?
He's just a fun guy.
Yeah.
He's just really, really interactive with the guys and whatnot. And usually all the guys love him too.
Okay.
So but with Jaden, obviously, like I said, homegrown, so he tell you the ins and outs
Gets
of it all. Yeah.
Yep. Okay, same question, but we'll do one offensive coach and one defensive coach.
Delvon Hardaway,
Okay.
so Coach Hardaway. And defensively, Coach Geely.
Really?
Coach Geely actually gets it done.
Okay.
Coach Geely gets it done.
He's going to close the deal.
100%.
Okay.
100%.
Well, sounds good. Well, thanks for joining me today.
This was lovely.
And we'll have to come back once we get the portal kids in.
100%.
Okay. Well, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time on the pod.